My name is Anthony. Welcome to the Scalability Podcast. Oh my God, that. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Scalability Podcast. And before I introduce my guest, I'm glad that you're actually alive, dude. I saw that snowstorm. That was crazy.
It was pretty wild, man.
Where'd you go?
I was in Tahoe with my friends, and we were in South Tahoe, snowboarded for the day, heavenly, left, 5 in the morning, just to board up for the day and make it back last night, so.
Yeah, if you guys, you guys could probably go. Did you post any of the pictures on Instagram or anything?
No, not yet.
You should, dude. Yeah, you should. Cause that was pretty intense. But when he is not busy being a daredevil, Mitch is the founder of Kollab Real Estate. And actually, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the background of your company?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the industry for 7 years now. Just recently started this team with Kollab Real Estate. We started about 6-7 months ago with my co-partner, founder, AJ Del Rosario. So really pumped and excited to do this whole project with my cousin.
I was gonna say, hold up, Del Rosario, y'all family? Yeah.
Yeah, so we keep it cool and keep everything, moving forward with great players on the team. We have a bunch of top agents on our team that moved with us when we started this and been going strong and having a lot of fun doing what we do.
I have a question. So you went snowboarding. How long were you guys out there for?
Snowboarding?
Yeah.
Just the day.
Oh, you guys just went for the day?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Literally was working that day, left, the day before, left 5 in the morning just for the day, came back, in the nighttime, back on some calls, and then here I am today, right now.
Oh man, that's crazy. So I guess the question that I want to ask is, how long have you been a full-time real estate agent, or now broker? But how long have you been full-time?
Full-time, 7 years.
All 7 years.
Yes.
Did you have a job before?
Yes. So before I was in real estate, I was actually a tennis professional. And then,
what?
Yeah, a tennis professional, and then from there, I was also working as a music composer.
Who are you, bro? Hold on. Wait, so, okay, because the reason why I asked that is because I always like hearing the story of how most people have a full-time job and then how they their struggle into becoming a full-time entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. How did your money work as a tennis professional and a music, you said composer or producer?
Composer, so I did scoring for film.
Okay, I need to hear about this.
Yeah, so I worked as a tennis professional. So right out of school, I graduated at University of San Francisco and was just staying at my folks for a while, saving up, teaching tennis, raised collegiate players, pro players, and then from there, I also wanted to go into my music career because that was always a passion of mine, making music. And my girlfriend at the time, she wanted me to do something more in the background. So we found scoring for film, so making that background music, the emotional stuff in the background. And then I was working both jobs. And long story short, as for you were asking me, journey to entrepreneurship and how my money worked, it obviously didn't, because now I'm in real estate, right?
Yeah.
But I was making a decent amount as a coach, it just wasn't enough for me to get out of my parents' house happily. That's when I made my jump into real estate.
So were you living with your parents when you first were in real estate?
Yes, yeah.
How long did it take you to move out?
Probably about, it was about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
That's actually good because I'm trying to figure out the human side of you. You know what I mean? Hold on, you get to go from being a tennis player, music composer to here. That's cool. What kind of movies did you make music for?
Interesting question. The music at school, be taught to learn how to make music for any type of film. But what I geared myself towards was weird synthesized sounds. So what a lot of my music that was used for was kind of like horror, like eerie feelings.
Anything that we know about?
I do have an IMDb, but no, nothing major. It was all just kind of indie films.
Hey, that's all good.
And I would do the backing, kind of weird track music, and then collaborate with a composer, and they would do the orchestral stuff. So I did the electronic stuff.
Okay, got it. So like some Stranger Things kind of.
Yes, exactly. I actually liked. Do you know who Trent Reznor is?
No idea.
Trent Reznor is the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails, way back when, and he became a composer, and he would do a lot of kind of eerie, odd sounds. Hans Zimmer actually has a lot of odd sounds in the background too.
Where does so if you became a music composer, you were a musician before that? Because I don't think anybody goes to school to be a music composer and then starts to learn notes and stuff like that, right? Where did music start originally?
When I was in my teenage years, I was a punk rocker. So had a big red mohawk, had the chucks, had a chain going down my the side of my hip. And I would just rock out with my other cousin. He was also a guitarist, and we started this band, and that kind of got me into the whole scheme of things. I got into the whole punk rock, kind of Joker, find the humor in music kind of scene.
Is it like Sum 41?
Exactly.
Dude.
We just had a lot of fun rocking out and
Bro,
playing shows.
I went through my punk rock phase. I used to have Liberty Spikes.
There
Like,
we go.
dude, I think the moment I heard Fat Lip on MTV, I was like hooked.
Yes.
Bro, I think what's that line he said? He's like, we like because you don't know us at all. We laugh at all.
People fall. So good.
And that led me down the rabbit hole of I don't know, Good Charlotte,
Yes.
Blink 182. I mean, just like punk rock specifically. I just there is something about punk rock where they just knew, like that genre knew how to like get those notes that really just like attract your ear, and it's not, and it's something where like it attracts a lot of people who like mainstream music as well.
Exactly.
So it's like, and me, I was like on the east side of San Jose, a little gangster, like I'm not supposed to like this, but I like this.
Right?
But it's like there's one of those things that I never told anybody about that I loved, right? I went through my little punk rock phase. So all right, coming back to, so I got a question.
Yep.
What would 11-year-old punk rock you with the mohawk? What would he say to I don't know, 23-year-old you in tennis shorts and a little sweatband?
Well, I was actually doing them together.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. So I was going junior national tennis, and then I was also in a punk rock band.
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to play my tennis matches with full-on red mohawk. Sweating on my white shirt, like I would finish out the match with like red, purple, pink dye, whatever was on my shirt. So I was doing that all together at the same time.
That's crazy.
It was wild.
Okay, so where did you grow up?
Fremont.
Fremont.
Yeah,
okay.
not too far from over here.
Yeah, that's Fremont's nice. So are your parents the ones who like pushed you towards like being a tennis player, or how did that even come about?
Yeah, they pushed me into tennis. I grew up in a tennis family, so my brother and sister were already playing tennis, and it became natural. So I was like, hey, I just want to do whatever my brother and sister are doing, right? And it got to the point that, well, actually growing up, they were always beating me, trying to hit the ball as hard as they can at me, like just having jokes. And it got to the age when I was about like 13 years old where I started beating them, right? And then the tables had turned, and in the end, we all learned together. We all grew off of each other, challenged each other to be better, and that kind of like led into my whole career of college ball and everything.
Was there a lot of shit talking?
Yeah. I was the youngest, so I just took it, right? So I was just like, I kept to myself, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get you one day, right? When I'm getting a little bit stronger, I get my game a little bit better. I knew I was gonna get him. So.
Yeah, and we previously talked, right? Like you are planning on having kids.
Yes.
Are your kids gonna play tennis?
That's an interesting question. Yeah. I see my brother and sister raise their kids, and it's interesting because growing up, it was tough having my dad be our tennis manager, or I guess coach, because we worked all the time.
Man, you guys are on some of that. What's that Will Smith movie, The King Richard?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are on some King Richard shit. Goddamn.
It was, man. It was.
Yeah.
My dad trained us. He had us literally right after school. We would have to play 3 hours before we could do anything at all.
What?
Yeah. So that was my thing. I said, hey, Pa, I want to go play with my go to band practice with my band, or I want to go hang out with my girlfriend. Did you play yet? We got to go to the court, and he would take us to the court, make us hit for 3 hours, make us play for 3 hours, and then once we hit that 3 hour mark, you could go do whatever you want. Man. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds very strict, but at the same time, like listening to that, man, I have a lot of respect for your dad. Yeah. I'm sure that like there was times where you were probably like, "Fuck this."
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But
sorry to cut you off there. I grew massive respect for my dad now that I'm older, right? Because as I was younger, I was just like, damn, I got to do this shit. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But then when I look back at it, it's like it got me into college. It led me into having like a great time, meeting a lot of awesome people, being on a tennis team with people all over the world. It's like, I can't thank my dad enough for that. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, no, that's deep, man. Like, my son, he's going into his third year of football this year. And, for me, it was just really important to get him to do something.
That's awesome.
'Cause I was raised by a single mother. I watched my older brother go to soccer practice because his dad would take him to, would always put him in soccer and all these different sports. And he always had like the best of everything. But my mom was always too busy. She was busy working, like, taking care of the house, whatever. So now that I have a son, I'm like, damn, like his first year, he didn't even want to play football. By the end of the season, like he was hooked, right? And then now, second season was great. Third season, I'm so excited to see like what he does this third season. But coming into, I definitely don't push him like your dad pushes you, which I kind of feel inspired right now. Kind of feel inspired right now to be like, yo, go 3 hours of football training or something, and you come back. That would probably build a lot of character.
Well, if he enjoys doing it, I mean, there's not so much you have to push if he's super excited to go there all the time, right?
Yeah, it is true, right? And football is like seasonal, right? So it's right now we have him in boxing.
Nice.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he's in boxing. So that's how he's staying in shape right now. But like, if there was like a place where they're practicing football year round, I would totally do that. So I feel like listening to that, the consistency of your tennis must have like impacted every part of your life.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, that's how you, like, one skill that I never got, and I have mad respect for people, is I respect you so much if you can do things when you don't feel like doing them all the time, right? So I'm very much a person who I have to be in the mood, and if I can't get myself in the mood, I'm not going to do it. And there are some people, and I'm guessing that you're like this, where last night you just got home from the snow. You just said it earlier. Like, did you feel like making those phone calls?
No, but you got to do it. You got to service the people that you're accountable for, and you got to represent. So, yeah, to go into that, I mean, it's that accountability. I was taught it at a young age, and also it's just normal for me to work. Like, it feels unusual for me to stop. And going back in it, just thankful for my dad to teach me that at a young age and learn that skill, I guess, or learn that understanding that I could handle a huge workload, and it's okay. Right?
Love that. What does your dad do professionally?
My dad was an engineer at Lockheed Martin. Now he's retired, and he just helps manages my mom's office, and my mom's a dentist. So we have a dentist office, a dental office.
Hey, plug. What's it called?
Galleria Family Dental Office in between Fremont and Milpitas. You guys, you would love my mom. She's the best dentist. I'm saying it because I'm a little biased, but anyone who's ever met her, always love her. And she's also named Dr. Amor.
Dr. Amor.
Dr. Amor.
So, Dr. Love.
Yep.
For y'all for y'all non-Spanish, wait, is amor is love in Tagalog too, right?
No, mahal. Mahal kita is
Mahal
like
kita.
you are my love in Tagalog.
Well, for y'all non-Spanish speakers, Dr. Amor.
Dr. Amor.
I love that. That's awesome. So, all right. So I definitely thank you for like outlining this because this is interesting. Have you ever said any of this like on any video before?
As for what?
Like going into basically what we just talked about your background.
No.
So you're telling me right now when people listen to this who know you, this is going to be the first time where they're like, shit.
Documented on video, yes.
That's awesome. All right. So what's the biggest challenge that you face transitioning from an agent to a broker?
Biggest transition from agent to broker, and for one, just to clear up, so I actually partner with Side. So the way that Side works is they are actually the broker, and they help manage my team. But I am the team lead, so I'm the team manager along with my partner. That transition, it's been rocky, man. I mean, it's not easy. I think going on it from moving from our whole team, we were on a team together, and it's almost like we were somewhat at the same tier level, right? And now moving on it is we're starting this thing, and it's almost like title gets confusing, egos get big, and we're trying to build something, but then also, hey, well, your title's here, we expect this of you, right? Those conflicts are a little troublesome, but if we could work it through as a team, it's just like a relationship. It's like we work through these scars and we build stronger and stronger. So I would say that was a little difficult. Of course, everyone has growing pains of vision and what we want, but now when the vision aligns, it's like there's some magic that happens between the whole team and everything. So
so okay, this is interesting because your past jobs, because you touched on something that just caught my attention. Your past jobs, you were never a manager.
No.
Okay, so this is interesting to me, right? So you're now learning management.
Yes.
And I feel like I got lucky because I made all my mistakes working for other companies. I was a manager, I hired, fired, even accidentally went to court at one time because I forgot to mail somebody who I fired their check, right? Like learning the day in, day out management skills, how to have those talks, how to, remotivate people, how to, break people with egos down and humble them, like, all that stuff. I put that work in ahead of time. So now as an entrepreneur, it's one of my skill sets, right? And with my company, we're literally a management company. Is what we find talent and then we help manage. That's all we do. So where are you getting knowledge on how to be a better manager? Who do you go to?
Well, it actually worked out great. So shout out to my business partner, AJ. He came from an organizations and systems background before he got into real estate. So obviously we're cousins. We're open to all conversations. We get in our little bickers here and there, like talks, just to get to a common conclusion. And he works out those systems and gives me a lot of insight as for the management side of things. And we kind of know our strengths, right? I look to him and say, hey man, we need the best organization and systems decision right now. What's your input? And of course I give my input there. And then also I know like my strength is on the motivation side. You know, keep the team up, leading when I need to lead, and we bounce off ideas. So it's a great camaraderie. To shout out to my partner here is I can't do it alone. And mad kudos to him. So
I think it's more than just motivation, right? Because there's been a few times where, so we're in WeWork right now. This is how we met, for those of you who don't know. I have a membership at WeWork. He has a big private office with a bunch of seats. That's really, really expensive, by the way.
It's a lot.
But I've seen you multiple times with a few different teammates. Like, I'll be like, hey, what's up? What do you guys got going on? And then you're walking out like, oh, we're on our way to an appointment. I have a feeling that, and correct me if I'm wrong, were any of those times, were you ever going to basically pitch an appointment for one of your agents?
Pitch an appointment for one of my agents?
Yeah. Or were they following you to your appointment?
We kind of do it together. So yeah, I might, it really depends, right? sometimes if I book the appointment, I kind of bring them along and we collaborate and we sign the listing together.
Collab.
Yep. Yeah. Or it's more so them and they're saying, hey, Mitch, come along. And I know my agents are super skilled. They've closed a lot of deals, but the power in numbers and the power of collaboration, we could show, hey, together, collaboratively, we sold this many houses, right? So it boosts our credibility and you know, the way, and I think the energy when we're sitting with buyers or sellers together, they could see, I think, with our team, we're so tight-knit and close. Our vibe and energy towards each other is very, very strong. Like buyers and sellers can really see, like these guys, yeah, they got the feeling that I feel comfortable, I feel safe. These guys know each other and they got my back, and that's kind of why we, you know, you see us go along, and you know, one or two of us are going on an appointment, or sorry, 2 or 3 of us are going on appointment to go meet with our sellers and our buyers. Yeah.
So we have, like at Outsource Plug, we have a very similar thing. Like when we're showing up to a pitch, like we've showed up like 6 people in a pitch before. Like I'm pitching, I got the salesperson there, account manager there, recruiter there, like, and my business partner, right? Like, and when people show up, they're like, the fuck? Like, what did I just walk into? I thought I was just going to like learn about your company. Like, yeah, when you work with us, you don't just get me, you get all of us, right? And we have a very high closing ratio on a pitch that's like pitch deck that's like 4 years old, and I think there's psychology behind that. So coming back to what I was saying, you're not just a motivator. Yeah, it sounds like you're a trainer. It sounds like you're also, I would imagine you're also a closer. I get that feeling from you. Are you a closer?
Yes, absolutely.
He drinks coffee every day.
Yes.
No.
Coffee's for closers.
Yeah, but no, like for me, like honestly, like if I was a real estate agent, dude, I would find someone like you, and I would just go fucking set up a bunch of leads, and then just be like, yo, Mitch, we got like all these appointments, and then you just go talk, and I just listen and give you a percentage of all my deals, because like I feel like that's something that I think a lot of people in real estate, newer people, they feel like they got to do everything themselves. They don't lean on leadership enough, or even worse, they're part of a brokerage where they don't have that leadership to lean on, and that's detrimental, right? Like great people can completely fall out of the industry who could have been legends, but they didn't have a good leader to lean on, right? So what do you feel are like top 3 mistakes that real estate agents make when getting into the business?
Top 3 mistakes that real estate agents make when getting into the business. I would say, for one, not knowing it's a sales job, right? I see some real estate agents come in when I was more of a mentor at my previous brokerage, and they just think, hey, big commission checks, I'm gonna be selling a bunch of homes, living this lavish life, and they don't realize that it takes grit. It takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of discomfort of calling these leads and calling people and having conversations when you don't even want to call it. Just call, just like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Right? 2 is it does take a lot of, well, it depends on how you work, but it could take some resources, right? And it could take time till you hit your first deal. So don't back out of your job already, you know, wait until your first deal comes along, still work your current job, and then when you have enough money to make that move, then make that move, right? I know some agents, they made the jump a little too soon. They didn't realize that, hey, that the wave is high, or we're hitting, and now there's a low, right? There's ebbs and flows in the real estate business. There's ebbs and flows of entrepreneurship, so just know, you know, save up and be smart before you make that jump, right? 3rd mistake I would say real estate agents make is when you do get that money is make sure you're balancing that life, right? And I think I'm really getting into that stage now, is how could I use my money to leverage out and get some more help, right? And I know we mentioned that we met at this WeWork. How I met Anthony is I was actually looking for a VA, and Alfredo, my partner, was like, hey, you just got to go talk to this guy. Just go step out. And it just turns out this guy was like, dude, I know exactly what you're looking for. Like, let me just help you. Yeah. And you just helped me literally on the spot. And I got set up with some VAs and currently working with a VA now. So
Sometimes it be like that.
right? Divine connections, divine
Yeah.
timing. I didn't know that was going to happen, but those are my three, I guess, mistakes that I could come off at the top, or things to consider when becoming an agent.
Yeah, so I think like, so my mindset's always about scalability, right? Like I think that if you're going into business and not thinking scaling first, you are really just building a prison for yourself. So when I was building Outsource Plug, I still am, I think I was a lot more aggressive about reinvesting quickly at the beginning. Meaning like meaning like whatever money I don't need to pay my rent, pay for food, and pay for like necessities, I'm gonna hire somebody.
Smart.
My bank account, I want it at zero. Like if I have money in my bank account, then that means that I'm not spending it on something that could help me grow. And that's the mentality that took us to a 7-figure company. Now that we are a 7-figure company, I'm being a lot more careful because this last Q4 almost wiped us out as a company. We almost had to close our doors.
Wow.
So now it's a little more like, okay, we probably need like 6 months of run, right? Just in case another fucking recession or whatever the fuck the news was saying, like, and they basically scared the shit out of everybody, and that hurt our business big time. So now I'm like, okay, now I see the necessity, because it affects every part of my business. It affects like this last pay period, for example. We normally keep enough money to cover payroll in the Philippines and in Latin America so that nobody's ever paid late, right? So we'll send it in advance. And we always have money there in case of emergencies and all that. But pretty much like Q4, like, so now it's like this last pay period, we ended up paying people 1 day late, which, 1 day late, some people might not think it's a big deal, but when, when you need money and there's no food or your rent's due and, 1 day, I mean, dude, like, I don't know about you, but like, there's been days where, like, I remember there was times when I was building this business and I was like starving and I couldn't even afford a goddamn McChicken. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like 50 cents short of a McChicken, and I got to get through the rest of the day, And I think about my people that work with me, and this is where, like, damn, like this year, it's reframing. Like, so coming back to what we're talking about, though, like, I feel like I do have a good problem because I do work for myself full time. I do get to live in the Bay Area. I do get to provide for my family. And I do that all on my own terms. But I think most people will never get to that because they become too afraid to put up all their money.
Yep.
So, now I'm gonna reframe another question for you.
Okay.
I'm a real estate agent.
Okay.
I've been in the business for 3 months. What's the average commission for like a $1 million to $1.5 million house?
Probably 25 to 30.
Okay, perfect. I made 90 grand in my first 3 months as a real estate agent. Okay, so what do I do with my money now? Do I just stash it? Like, how do I set myself up for success?
Well, don't spend it on a whole bunch of things like new cars, getting a new place, because for my first year in real estate, that's what I did. My second year, I had a little rebound where I had to learn how to prospect. So with that 100,000, I would say take 20% of that and start allocating that towards marketing, right? Whatever it may be. And that's even something I'm learning now. What's a little tricky for me, and how you're telling me I should get more leverage, is I like taking the responsibility. I like being in control of what I can, right? My business, meeting with my clients and having those conversations. So using that money now to market and get more business and take that time away, I think that's how you should spend your money, out of that 100K.
So I like the word you use because I always forget this word, buy leverage, right? Leverage. Because, so I have a virtual assistant company, and I was listening to Alex Hormozy talk, and he talks about how humans are the most complex type of leverage you can buy, right? So I think before you even invest in virtual assistants, it's more about investing into the right softwares first, and getting your softwares going. Like, for example, well, with Side, when you join Side, right, they give you software, don't they?
Yeah, so we have a CRM system that just manages all our customers, our relations, all our leads. It's just all there, so we can easily manage everything. Before I got into real estate and before I was in my previous team, because they had a good customer management, relations management system, I didn't have that, right? And then you realize there's a lot of lost leads and lost money in those systems, right?
Yeah. So I guess like if I was to give a practical example, right, like I would probably invest into like Octopus CRM, which is a LinkedIn prospecting software. Totally go check it out. It's not the cheapest one, but it works very well. It's worked for me in the past. But anyway, so let's move on to the next topic.
Is that like a customer relations management, or what
It
is that?
is. So Octopus CRM is not actually a CRM. I don't know why they put CRM in the name.
Okay.
It is it's a software that will help you. It'll send out requests for you on LinkedIn. It will
Okay.
It does a couple things. It sends requests. It also views profiles, because on LinkedIn when you view a profile, like the other person gets a notification that says, "Hey, Anthony viewed your profile," which you'll see one because before this I viewed your profile. You don't have a headshot, by the way.
I gotta update it.
Yeah, it's all good though. Instagram's more popping nowadays for real estate agents anyway. But all right, so it'll do views, and then it will leave. Oh God, I forget what it's called, the recommendations or whatever. But yeah, and then you can just put that on autopilot. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But, okay, so this is a really important question, because you were previously with another brokerage who's a good buddy of mine, right? Mind if I say the name?
Sure.
Enrique Medellin PRG, and they're with EXP.
Yeah.
You are with Side.
Yes.
At this point in time, like, I think when I hear about people who are trying to do their own brokerage without one of these powerhouse companies behind them, I think it's dumb. I like, you just have to use logic. These companies have spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on infrastructure. They have massive teams for support. Like, there's a reason why they exist. And when I look at like brokerages where it's like, no, I want 100% of my commission. It's like, dude, it's so dumb to me, like from just a logical business perspective. So what's your thought process behind picking Side?
Picking Side? Well, Side, what I liked about them is, for one, they would help me and our team build our own brand, right? So that was a huge thing. It's just it was nothing against Enrique's brand. I loved his brand, definitely represented the brand, and got a lot of mad respect for Enrique as well as Jason. And I think that's just something we wanted to do a little different, right? We just wanted to start our own thing. And then also just model our company just a little bit different. I think with them, it was they were building more off the EXP, which EXP does a lot of MLM, multi-level marketing, and they're recruiting new agents, where I think our team, we just wanted to take, just work on more top tier, higher level things when we came into the office. Have this environment where we could all be creative, dish in everybody's ideas, and work out opinions to get to a greater cause, versus kind of just going back to the basics and learning the scripts. And it's fun teaching. I naturally love mentoring people, but for me, that's kind of what the vision and what we wanted to do, starting off building Kollab.
Yeah, no, I definitely like your mentality. I personally think that, like, because I've thought about going into real estate previously. Right? I think if it came down to like me coming into real estate, I would probably take more of your approach as well. I want maybe 10 to 20 agents, but I want to support them on another level.
Yes.
And I want to give them more support than any other company can do. But the thing is, you can't promise that to too many agents, right?
Yep.
So it's like, hey, if you are producing a minimum of 1 deal per month, like we're going to give you all of these services. We're going to do all of your video, all of your social media. We're going to do outreach under your name. We're going to do like, there's like a set package that I would do for all of my agents, and I would have it like I would just build an army of virtual assistants.
Love it.
To support everything. I might even give each of them their own virtual assistant, right? Because because it's all about separating yourself from other brokerages.
Hiring you for operations, man.
That's AJ's job. but no, like I was building this actually when I was a marketing director of Century 21. I had this idea, but they didn't give me enough resources. So I actually registered, it was called Team One. And my one of the concepts that I was running behind it was like, hey, for every listing that we get as part of a team, everybody's gonna show up to the content day, and we're gonna make a separate video for every single person for this listing, and you're gonna market that video, and your network is gonna think that it's your listing.
It's awesome.
Right? Even though it's not, but even when
team.
You're a team, exactly. Because at the end of the day, would you rather do a deal with 2 of your agents in your office, like one representing the seller, one representing the buyer, or would you rather only have your team represent, for example, the seller and do business with another team or another brokerage that's representing the buyer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, easy answer. If we could keep it in house, and sure, why not?
You double end it,
Yeah.
right? As a brokerage, you double end it, and then on top of that. Dude, like we can work in-house. You know what I mean? Like we're a team. It's not me versus you, it's us together.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, dude, like the cost to put that together in terms of like, you're gonna go shoot the photo, video, drone, all that anyway. You're going to. The cost of like putting one agent in front of the camera for 15 seconds and then editing 10 to 20 different versions of that video is extremely low.
Yeah.
It's not very complex, but most people don't understand like how to get like and imagine you're an agent who, you've been doing 12 deals a year and you don't have that much marketing, you don't have the mind to do it, you just know how to get leads and close, and suddenly you join a team that will provide you like overnight all of this content and footage and shit. Like, dude,
boom,
you'll attract some of the best talent. And logically speaking, if everything is happening correctly, dude, you should be getting a lot of results.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking real estate and also just making it a production company as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's having that production arm, right? And basically like, and I wouldn't even say production, I would say like it's more of like a social media marketing company, but instead of charging each agent like $2,000, $3,000 a month, it's like, the marketing portion gets a percentage of the deals that close. Like, for example, if there was a 30 grand, maybe 20% of that immediately goes back into the marketing part, right? To refund the marketing portion.
I like that.
Yeah. So that was basically the idea there. I recruited 7 agents into this shit as a marketing director, right? But the resources that I had were lacking resources. I couldn't do it there. And they expected me to support a brokerage of fucking 600 agents or some shit like that they had at that time, and then also run the team with a broker who him and I are still friends. We were on a call earlier today. Like years later, we're still on the call, right? But we never got to fully execute that vision. But if I was to start a brokerage, that's what I would do.
It's a great vision.
Yeah, you should just take it.
Oh, I'm gonna take those tips.
Yeah, take that shit. Run with it.
Yeah. This is recorded.
Yeah, I mean it's too easy not to, man. It's too easy not to. Like the hard part is orchestrating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The hard part is orchestrating, creating the systems, recruiting the right talent, and then like even right now, dude, like we built a content machine that I was telling you about. Bro, we were on a call this morning with 40 agency owners. They all own real estate media agencies.
Okay.
And all of them across the board, when it came to the short form content, they're like, why do you not offer short form content? It's an operational nightmare. And I'm like, bro, we got it figured out. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, every single day on my, like, people see every single day on my Instagram, one post a day. But they don't see all the other accounts we're posting for. They don't see all the other shit that we're doing. Collectively, dude, we're probably doing like 40 to 50 posts a day.
Damn.
Yeah, for all of our accounts. But
Wow.
that makes me want to segue into, into this next question. So, what's been the toughest part of your content journey, and how did you overcome it? Right, because even though like you and I have talked about doing business together, but I still have a lot of respect for what you have done, because you've done more than most agents will ever do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, can you read that question one more time?
What's been the toughest part of your content journey?
The toughest part of my content journey, well, I'll start off with maybe the easy part of my content journey. I feel like I've always been an entertainer, being a punk rocker.
Yep.
So I've always been okay with like being on the stories, and the stories are the easiest thing for me, right?
Okay.
Now the toughest part is getting those stories into post, right? Because sometimes I do some great content on the stories, and I think to myself, hey, maybe I should just take that, rip that, and just post it. But then I get into this whole quality factor. Well, is that good enough quality post? Does it look good? But if you ever look into my Instagram, I also have this like, well, I don't really care, I'll just post it kind of vibe too. Because I think there's good content there, and somebody needs to know, and people need to understand who I am as a person, and just the vibe that I bring. Mm-hmm. So content, I would say just the editing part of things. It takes a lot of time. It takes hours to get to something that's just 30 seconds, right? That you're cutting up, editing, and then you want the perfect quality. You want the just look. You want the captions. You want everything right, and that's the editing part is what kills me.
Yeah.
I should be prospecting. My job and my power, or my superpower, is talking to people.
Yeah.
Like sitting there behind a computer editing on Final Cut. As much as I love it, I love being creative. That's probably what takes away.
Yeah, no, and I agree too. And like I run into here's what I noticed. Most entrepreneurs will have a creative person around them, mm-hmm. and I just keep seeing this theme. And so Lolo, and here's another thing too. So my girlfriend's sitting behind the camera, and as we're actually talking, she's curating this podcast. So she's literally taking notes. She's grabbing the times that the podcast is going, and this is where she's going to tell our editors where to cut. We can always send the podcast to the editors straight up, and they can figure it out. But we like it this way because then it's very efficient, right? But entrepreneurs always have that one creative person. When I come around talking about what I'm talking about, and then I say my prices, there's always a creative person like, you could do CapCut with that, or we could do it this way, or we could do it that way, we could do it this way. And then, they're all motivated because they get pissed off at my pricing, they get pissed off of like at what I say, and this has happened around multiple creative people. I'm not gonna say their names because I'm telling you, there's always a creative with an entrepreneur. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Well, hey, if you wanna do it that way, I'll even tell you how to do it. And then I fast forward 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, they have no post.
Yep.
They have nothing.
Yep.
And it's still the same shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, the thing is with creative people, like I was talking, I'll tell you one that I was talking to, Rumble City Boxing, my friend Caesar, who, he talked some sense into himself where, he was like, because I told him the price of what we're charging, and he was like, damn. And I was like, yeah, but, it's because it's gonna like, I told him like right now, it's February, and you got time because your memberships are down because it's not the busy season, and CapCut makes sense now. But once the business grows, you need the post to keep going, even while your gym is busy growing. Ooh.
Bars.
Ooh. Hold up. You need the post to keep going even while your business is growing. Woo! All right. And basically he thought about it. He's like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So we ended up hiring him a social media manager to handle all of his distribution. And then he bought one of our editing packages, right? So like a combo. And then we are going out and we're shooting his content for him. So now it's like completely off of his plate. So So, you know, and this is like with those creatives, and I talk a lot about creatives, how it's like, you know, they get too much into their feelings.
Yeah.
Too much into like, oh, does this look good, or does this sound good, or does this whatever. Bro, like what we're slinging right now, we're slinging thought leadership.
Yep.
Dude, I just went viral for another podcast that I did with a guy who sells loans, or he's a loan agent. And I was just talking about the first time I found a suit at the Goodwill. Bro,
I saw that.
That post, 43,000 views on Facebook, 1,900 likes. And I got one lead from that, okay? But anyways, only one lead, but whatever. Like, how many people did that fucking post impact?
Yep.
I think that's more important to me than, like, because there's different things. It's like, how much money are you making? Sure. But also, like, how many people are you impacting positively? So, putting my point to rest is that, you know, creatives, like, and it's crazy that, like, you know, for the creatives who are with those entrepreneurs who have been able to humble themselves, I've actually taught them. Like, I'll literally teach you, like, my system. Actually, you know, one creative who, like, was very good, like the guy who works with PRG.
Dan?
Yeah.
DJ?
He's cool as fuck. The guy's very humble.
Dope.
Like, he's running into bandwidth problems, and I was like, hey, bro, this is how you fix this. And he was very humble. He listened, and he started taking action. I should probably follow up, because, like, I'm down to help you do it for yourself, you know, but you gotta fucking listen. But anyways.
To that point, I want to say something. Anthony actually challenged our team, and we met with him, and he said, hey guys, if you could produce 8 videos or 8 podcasts from the time we're meeting now until then you would do packages for free.
Yeah, I would hook you guys up with some free content.
Yeah, we attempted.
Did you guys get it?
We've just been so busy to edit, man. We filmed maybe about 5 podcast episodes, but to get to the editing.
Yeah, y'all owe me lunch.
Yeah, we owe this guy lunch.
I was like, yeah, but see, and that's the thing, right? Is like, leverage.
Yep.
Leverage, right? But no, it's all. I'll still hook you guys up anyway. Plus, you're gonna get some posts from this too. But so let's talk about that, right? Like, what were the 5 podcasts that you guys did record?
We recorded just the first one. It was kind of our intro, and what we're doing is we're just talking about the market, sharing our perspectives of offer submissions, listing experience, meeting with our clients, to kind of give real on-the-boots running feedback to our viewers, right? And that's what we've been talking about, and talking about what our predictions are for the future, and just like a basic real estate podcast, right? And being real, sharing our personalities. The tough part is just editing and getting in on time, because to that, we recorded these 5 podcasts, but now it's like, okay, well, that was like 2-3 weeks ago. Real estate moves, and it's like, we post it now, we're behind. You know?
I mean, it's like, I think there are sometimes time-sensitive things, right? There are, and because we ran into that too, like, going back to Rumble City Boxing, they had a professional fighter that was going to fight, like, and we had just recorded that day, and, you know, we'll move this to the front of the line and say, hey, we really need this one piece, this one of 20, like, we need this one piece, like, tomorrow, right? So I think, don't worry.
Yeah.
I was looking at, before I came here, or before we started this, I was on YouTube looking up, like, you know, real estate brokerage, whatever, and I found one guy who, he had a video under real estate broker on YouTube, and then I clicked into his YouTube channel, and then I saw all of his videos. Why move to San Mateo? Why move to Fremont? Why move to San Jose? And this one had 6,000. That one had 12,000. This one had, you know, right? So, like, I would focus on stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would focus on making videos that are searchable, that are hyper specific.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, on today's podcast, we're going to talk about the top restaurants in Los Gatos today, and why you should actually be visiting them.
I see.
So then that way, even when people go to Google, if the video is searchable on Google, or if the video is like, well, if it's searchable, basically it'll even pop up on a Google search too.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if you are talking about something old, dude, it's all good. Just put it out, post it. But again, not everything has to be real estate related.
Yeah, and it's still relevant, even as the time goes by. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know what would probably get you more business than just talking about real estate is like invite someone you played tennis with, and talk about tennis.
That's a good
Dude, there's
an idea.
I'm sure a lot of deals you've gotten are from that community.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Why talk about real estate when you could talk about tennis? I'm the realtor that talks about tennis.
There you go. Who's down a ball?
Who's down the ball? Yeah, no, exactly. Like, and dude, like, is part of your strategy to like do tennis meetups and stuff like that?
Not as of right now. I've kind of veered out of the whole tennis scene.
Yeah.
But I could still ball no matter
I would
what.
veer my ass back in.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, bro, like you think about it, right? Like, okay. So, what are things that attract wealth? Exotic cars, golf,
tennis
tennis
is up there. Yep.
wine, whiskey, cigars, right? Vacations, travel. So, dude, like I feel like that's such a great lane. Like if I were you, this is what I'm talking about. If you have not been networking within tennis, you have not been going to these tennis clubs, meeting tennis people, and just being involved, then you're missing out on opportunities to add people on Facebook, to add people on Instagram. Like you can go like, is there tennis meetups or something like that? Or is there like a place where tennis people hang out?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
There's
go there.
men's teams.
Go there. Don't even talk about real estate. Add everybody on Instagram and Facebook. And then they'll see your content posting. And they'll be like, yo, Mitch, how come you didn't tell us you were a broker?
Well, I just wanted a ball.
Right, exactly. and that's one of the most attractive ways, right? That's how you attract.
Yeah.
Right? But also, too, even like over time, like let's say that day one, you meet them at a men's meetup, whatever, you guys hang out, fucking drink whiskey, and talk about men's shit. Then 2 or 3 months later, now you guys meet up multiple times. Now it's like, hey, I don't know if you know, but like I'm a real estate agent, and they'll probably be like, yeah, no shit, I've seen all your videos, dude. Do you know anybody who's looking to? Then you can work your magic, and it's less abrasive.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
rapport in the relationship before anything.
100%.
Yeah, and I think the placement of kind of fun first. I like that, right?
Well, when you're not trying to attract shit, that's when shit comes to you.
Yep, law of attraction.
You know what I mean? Like that's like when you're desperate, people can smell it and feel it on you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
One of my good friends, Andres Lopez, who's a commercial real estate agent, he's like, Anthony, this is why you always need to have money in your bank account because you need to be willing to walk away from any deal at any time.
Yeah.
Because when you're willing to walk away, that's when deals will come to you in abundance.
Absolutely.
And he's 100% true. And it's 100% true. But yeah, dude, I would absolutely like triple down on that, bro. That's such a gift. That's such a gift, dude. And then like, bro, how many Filipinos are in that circle?
I'm sure there's a lot of Filipinos. Filipinos ball.
Really?
Mainly basketball, I would say, is the realm of Filipinos, but I'm sure there's tennis player Filipinos out there.
Dude, when I think of tennis, I think of like white.
Yeah.
So like, and so here, like the thing is like when I go to business conferences or like, there's sometimes where I'm in certain environments where like when I see a Latino, I'm like, yo, you Latino? Like, you know what I mean? There's some rooms where I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? And I feel like even like tennis might be one of those where you see another Filipino and be like, "What's up?
Yeah.
What's up, Kuya?"
Just me and you.
Yeah, but anyway, bro. Like, I think because that's just a strategy. Network, add people on social videos. Network, add people on social videos.
There it is.
Yeah, if you just continue to do that, I think you'll kill it. So, just a few more questions before we end up closing out, man. So, what books have changed your life the most?
What books? My favorite book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's the #1 book that when I was starting in the industry, I read it about like 3 or 4 times, and then when I was mentoring at my previous brokerage, new agents would come by and I would give them that copy. So that one is hands down one of the best ones that I could say I live my life by, like to this day.
Okay, top 2 lessons you learned from how to win friends and influence people.
It's been a while since I read that, but number 1 I remember was just big smile. Like your smile is contagious.
Yeah.
It gives energy to everybody in the room, and that's one of the most memorable features that you could have. Number 2, man, it's been a while since I read that book, but one of them is that I really like was don't condemn, criticize, or complain. So that one is a big one because whenever you complain, criticize, it's just bad energy, right? You feel whenever anyone's bringing some complaints to the room, if it's unwelcomed, it just brings the whole it's just a drag,
Yeah.
So those are the top 2 from the top of my head I remember from that book. Yeah.
Dude, I love so that book. I mean, I can't remember any of the lessons off the top of my head, but I do know that book has also had an impact in my life as well. I remember specifically there was a scene where, oh God, there was a mobster. I think that's how they start the book, right? Like the mobster was being gunned down by the police, and I think like his final words were, oh man. His final words were, I forget. I forget. I gotta go like reread the book. Lolo, do you know that? What was going on?
Oh, I don't know the story that well. No.
Okay. Well, basically during that, even though this guy was like a bad dude, he believed what he was saying. I don't know. We'll have to go check it out. Fuck. But okay. So, is there? Well, I guess like before we even close out and I ask my final question, is there anything that you want to talk about that you want to put out into the world?
Something I want to put out in the world. That's a great question. I don't know. I think as for building our company and brand and where we're at right now, just breeding a new breed of agents where what I put out to my team, I kind of have fun with it and say, hey guys, let's just sell homes, learn as much as we can, make money, of course, and have fun. So speaking of our brand and our team, that's kind of what we put into it.
Yeah.
Growing together as our own community and building, because that takes you a long way. I mean, they always say on teams, culture is extremely important. And I think that culture of just working hard, also having fun, but not pushing fun to the realms where you're just partying like excessively, but having fun in other things like hiking or snowboarding or in that regard, but also finding the fun in the journey of learning real estate is really what Kollab's about. And I think off the top of my head.
Love it. All right. So now there's an agent listening to this or just entrepreneur who's listening to this. They're going through a hard time right now. They're looking for inspiration. They're maybe even thinking about giving up. What do you have to say to that person right now who wants to give up?
It's a journey. Like as cheesy as that is like it's a journey, right? We have to celebrate all those little wins, all those big wins, and any win that you have throughout the day, live it up, right? Tony Robbins is a big guy on energy. I'm a big guy on energy. Is like you do not impress or impact anyone by playing small. So if you got a win of any kind, wear that big old smile on your face. Let your teammates know if they're great teammates and there's no envy, jealousy going around, we'll support that, Hey, you did 5 push-ups today? Good freaking job, man. You're the shit. It's your day.
Yeah.
And that's the environment that you want to be around, really.
Yeah.
So.
See, and this is like one of the tough things about being an entrepreneur, like in my own company, is we were at there was another real estate company here who was also Filipino owned, who had a really big event, and I just was like in that room like, damn, so much good energy here. Like everybody's supporting everybody, and like I'm like this solopreneur, right? I'm like out here alone, and sometimes I miss camaraderie. Sometimes I like even think so. That's like one of the reasons why I become tempted for real estate. I'm like, damn, like I miss being part of a team, here locally. Like I have a big team, but everybody's across the world, you know. So that's good, guys. So if you're looking for a great environment to be in, I have like, well, the day that I met Mitch, I wasn't even planning on meeting him. I think I split actually, I bought a torta for his homie, and his homie, the guy he works with, Alfredo, shout out to you. He immediately split it with Mitch. Like, dude, that's what we're doing around here. Showing love, giving good energy. I even got to meet your other business partners. Even actually on the way here, I accidentally bumped into your guys on the elevator. That's that good energy all the time, right? So if you're looking to actually join a team like that, make sure you reach out to Mitch. And how can they get a hold of you?
Hit me up, 510-579-1069. And my phone number, DM me, add me, of course, on Instagram, Mitch_Del Rosario.
And that's it, y'all. Thank y'all for listening.
Thank you. We out.
That was fire.